What has happened is that when we discuss about the air pollution, we all talk about integrated solutions, and the focus becomes Delhi, but we forget like cleaning only Delhi is like cleaning a part of the lake. So part of the lake can never be cleaned because the lake overturns, so is the air shade overturns. So if the entire focus is on Delhi only, we'll find that the results are nothing much to show. So this has been well recognized now that we have to really consider not only the pollution in Delhi, but of course entire NCR, even the pollution that is coming from far places. Have we recognized that? The question comes, how to apportion it? Where is it really coming from? Delhi is having Delhi's pollution and that from outside. Outside is having the pollution from outside and from Delhi, and things are completely blurred. And therefore, the efforts, if we put very sincere efforts in Delhi, we might find the results are nothing much to show. So with that particular idea, this thing has been tried, and first thing that we have done is for the black carbon. The reason to do black carbon is that, well, we had certain project to do on the black carbon. So, and the black carbon, not for the climate reasons, but now WHO recognizes the black carbon as a single important surrogate for health effects. And this is what attracts and this is what absorbs all other toxic pollutants. And also, black carbon is a single indicator of combustion sources which are well recognized as the health related issues. Quickly coming to the procedure part of it, we use certain models, we have done certain validation also. But the focus again, please remember, this is not PM 2.5, but this is about the black carbon. So we applied certain state-of-the-art model and then tried to see what are the various sources coming in the Delhi, going out of the Delhi, and try to get to some answers. So these are really very good models. I'm not getting into that. This truly state-of-the-art model being used all over the world now, with all which involves the chemistry, which involves very fine resolution of the wind speed, wind direction, meteorology, and whatever best possible knowledge which is generated in terms of the pollution dispersion, dilution, chemistry, which have been incorporated. So what we did is that first of all we developed the national emission inventory, and then we'll come down to NCR in a minute. So for the black carbon, we considered all possible sources, as you can see, from domestic fuel to industry. Industry is a major black carbon producing industry, open burning, and the transport, again, we could break it down to different type of vehicles, as you can see here. So this is what is what we had done some part of the study for the entire country. I'll show you in a minute. But what we did, that we really focused onto the NCR region and keeping Delhi, sort of separately, and then seeing what is going in and out of Delhi. So this is the national picture as far as the black carbon is concerned. The Ganga Valley or the Ganga Basin is heavily infested with the black carbon, as can be seen. And also the area like Punjab and Haryana, because of the crop residue burning, which you see 33% is a crop residue burning at the national level. This is picture at the national level on the right hand side. And if you see here in the region, which is about 500 kilometer by 400 kilometer, the emission is about 11.9. This, in fact, on a per square kilometer is in the Delhi or NCR region is about 20% higher than what is the national average. So we are talking, as it is, we are talking about serious thing, heavily concentrated polluting sources, population, vehicles, industry. So obviously we have the bad air quality, there is no reason. But the question that we want to answer again is what is coming in and out. So I'm directly showing the results. If you see, and again I repeat black carbon, we did some study for Okhla because we had certain measurements of black carbon to sort of validate the model. I'm not showing you the validation, but you see the picture here at the Okhla point or Okhla region in Delhi, about 52% of black carbon in ambient air quality, not the emission point of view, is from 52% from Delhi, and almost about the same is coming from outside from Delhi. So, cleaning the Delhi requires cleaning the Delhi itself, and that from outside. Cleaning the outside requires the cleaning the outside and cleaning the Delhi as well. I would request be careful to see the right-hand side picture. It is that of black carbon, not of PM 2.5. That 90%, whatever you're saying. We should not understand that I'm trying to say that PM 2.5, 90% is from vehicles. No way, nor I want the journalists to sort of get hands on to it. But essentially what you see here, if the 90% is that of vehicles in Delhi, and 52% is well within the Delhi, so about 45% of the black carbon, what you see in Delhi is from Delhi actually. Rest is coming from outside Delhi, almost like 50% again. But that 50% is interesting. That is coming from the NCR region that we considered. So here you see a good amount, open burning is about 27%. Okay, that's again from Punjab and Haryana. And the simulations have been done for the month of November 2013. So November, the crop residue burning is at peak, and that we have considered that particular November emissions, not the annual emissions sort of thing, just to make sure that we get the reasonable results. Industries in Delhi, there have been, of course, we have talked about industry, but that mostly polluting industry have been, gone out, and the power plants don't cause so much of black carbon emissions. So again, you see the industry outside Delhi is still a major source of contributing in the Delhi. And of course, the domestic sector, the transport sector is not that much because of the distance and all. But the crop residue burning and industry are still the important sources which are sitting right on the boundary of Delhi or in the region about 200 kilometers either side of the Delhi. So we need to focus, again we talk about integrated approach. We have to really see integrated approach in terms of, when you want to clean the Delhi, or you see the benefits are for everyone actually. But then what we require is we have to think differently, not think Delhi as Delhi, take up a bigger picture and see what we can do it. Very similar picture for the Connaught Place, slight some variation here and there. And but the picture is very same, so I'll just quickly go there. The diurnal variations which are there in the nights and the evenings because of the meteorology things slightly change. And these have been validated slightly. We underestimated the black carbon, but the picture is sort of, the trends are certainly meeting even if you are doing it at a large scale. Similarly, let's see if we go outside Delhi and look at the Gurgaon, what is happening. So in Gurgaon, the Delhi is contributing about 47%. Then again, and then outside Delhi, within the region of NCR, if we can say, if we take NCR minus Delhi, what is happening is again about 53% is coming from the outside itself. So again, we need to clean up. If you want to have the clean Gurgaon, which is essential, for example, to have the clean Delhi. So again, industrial emissions need to be controlled, open burning 34%. So that is, these are the things that we really need to look into this one. Similarly, Noida, the picture remains more or less the same. So again, we have to sort of reciprocate or complement each other in terms of the pollution control. If you really want to see the improvement, tackling Delhi alone, of course this is recognized, but we have to really go a little bit, fine-tune the things in terms of PM 2.5 and see how we can clean the whole region actually. Now, we also looked at the things as to what is happening, which side is causing a bigger problem. So if you saw carefully what Dr. Shah showed, the wind direction, the wind roses. So we have largely the direction is from north and northwest, and also some part from the east. So but just we thought, let's examine what is coming from the west of Delhi actually. In Delhi actually. So see, 74% of the pollution that comes in of special black carbon is coming from the west of Delhi actually, which again will include Punjab, Haryana and Meerut and other parts of this. The east part is relatively small. So again, the western part of Delhi if in terms of the priority, in terms of strategy, we need to clean up this particular thing. And the western part, again, 40% industry, 29% is about open burning. That open burning, if you look at the eastern side, reduces to only about 19%, because there are no open burning of the, especially of the fields in the eastern part, which is Uttar Pradesh, but Punjab and Haryana contributing from the west side a very significant amount. So that is an issue. Similarly, the picture, the Connaught Place, very similar picture. So I think the point here, the last point, I think we need the pollution control from outside and from the NCR, and we need to complement each other. So I think this particular thing, in my opinion, we need to still further fine tune it. We are slightly working on it. This was a little bit on black carbon, but we indeed require integrated approach. And industrial contribution, the contribution from the open burning are serious challenges that we still need to recognize. The other presentation which I've been asked to do very quickly, I'll do very shortly, is about, because Professor Dave talked, we had a lot of support from him when we first developed the air quality index. But this is the newer air quality index, already adopted by Government of India, sponsored by CPCB, and we worked together onto this one. These are the very general sort of things, but I'll quickly just go over it. Now there are enough literature compared to what we did in 2000. And even the breakpoints are very clearly identified in terms of what are the health impacts and things like that. So the idea here is that AQI is an overall scheme that transforms the individual concentrations into the simple numbers, and that's what the people can understand. So the categories that we came up with, which is now adopted, being used, which Professor Dr. Sengupta also referred. So we said, well, 0 to 50 is a good category, which is 51 to 100 is satisfactory. Once we have 100, it means we are achieving our national air quality standards for all the pollutants. And at 0 to 50, they linearly cut down to 50%. It means if you are having the levels less than 50% of the standards, for all the pollutants, the air quality index is considered to be good. And these are short-term pollutants, not the long-term averages. Moderately polluted, poor, very poor, severe. But how we arrived at these numbers were, these are our standards, as you can see, and it accounts for both 1 hour and 8 hour concentrations. The idea was, once we have the concentrations, translate that concentration into the numbers, and yet keeping the health relationship or health connotation while transferring the concentrations into the numbers. So that's what we need, certain functional transformations. So that was done. And once we have the sub-indices for each of the pollutant, then it's a matter of aggregating these indexes into a single number. And the idea here was simple, that once we have the sub-indices for all the pollutants through the functional relationship that has the health implications, then we pick up the maximum out of this thing, because if the averaging of these indices is rather dangerous, because then we simply dilute the impact which we might face, which might face actually, and then sort of display and things like that. So these are the categories, these are the ranges that we have discussed. So here are the things which is really crux of the whole thing as to how to come up with the breakpoints. So first two breakpoints, which are good and satisfactory, were simple because they are simply based on the air quality standards, and the air quality standards do have the health implications, and it is considered that if you are meeting the standards, we are reasonably safe as far as the health effects are concerned. So once we go to the moderately polluted, you see here, while the document is available, a lot of health studies and health endpoints have gone into this one while devising these numbers. Of course, the European Union, their pollution levels are very low. So they sort of go at very low concentration, even if they start calling the concentration as bad. But you can see here, for example, in the poor category, the concentration of PM10 is 350 microgram per meter cube. The Americans call it differently, the Chinese may call it differently, but we decided to call it poor, very poor, and severe. So when you're about 430, 440 of PM10 is really very high concentration. And similarly, these breakpoints were considered and health implications considered very severely, and they sort of tend to also match with the literature that was used by either the USA or China, but European Union was, as you can see, is very, very stringent in terms of equality. So these were the final breakpoints that we adopted in India, and there was a team of people which I'll very briefly discuss. And based on this, the air quality was defined. And initially there were some problems, but now I think the air quality indices are well displayed, and they are correct now. That's what I've been told. And the index now also has display along with the numbers. It also says what it means in terms of the health effects and what it may possibly cause. But these statements are very general, not very specific, and which is sort of all other countries also have very general statements actually. These are the means that we thought. We have certainly given we developed a very good software that we have given to the CPCB, and CPCB has sort of implemented it, and these are available. So this is how, in a simplistic manner, once you go to the website, you can go to the various cities where the air quality monitoring is being done on a continuous basis. You can go to a particular site, location, click, and then you get the information, not only sub-indices of one pollutant which is critical, but that of all the pollutants, and also along with the historical sense of last 24 hours. And you can also get the data. So what you can see here is that not only you can see the trend, you can see time to time what is happening, which pollutant is sort of increasing, which is decreasing, and also you can see the overall index as to what is the index. So this software, there are many technological issues in this one, but that has been given to CPCB. This can also be operated through the drop-down menus, apart from and the map will show up for the city. Highlands, and then we also had proposed in the report that it should also not only just show this one, it should also possibly trigger some action. At least that's what is in the report we have submitted to CPCB, and I'm sure that they will sort of not only just easily saying that it's bad, it's not enough, but there are certain immediate measures which the city should plan itself as to, if this is what is happening, this is what possibly they can do. That have been suggested actually. In summary, this is based on Indian air quality standards, important for public information and participation, real time and very transparent. No one can change the numbers. It should also trigger, that's what we have proposed, that immediate action by the regulatory agency. It should also sort of in a long term, if the issues are long term, then it should result in some sort of time-bound action plan. And it also shows the continuous monitoring of the air quality status of the city. And let me also share very quickly that this particular exercise was done with the help of many individuals and many other agencies, and many doctors were involved. So all the inputs were taken, and sort of it was almost 100% consensus when the index was done. But I'm glad that this has seen the light of the day and the government has adopted, and I'm sure this will be helpful. I think I'll stop here. Thank you very much.